All right, hey everybody who's joining us today for our shoot your shot or nah questionnaire discussion, basically breakdown of relationships and dating. We're excited to get into this. I don't know if you joined us last week. If you did, you knew how amazing it was to break into this discussion, right? Dating in the church can sometimes be hard. Um, Now, let me not say sometimes. It can be hard a lot of times. And so we want to get into this discussion again, starting off with the question, basically, should you shoot your shot or now? What does that look like? If you're joining us on YouTube, please make sure to use the chat function. We want to hear from you. We have a live chat going. We have some polls that we're going to put out there. We're going to have some questions that we want to ask of you and ask of our panelists. So please feel free to use the chat function. We're begging you to use it so we can hear from you and get this conversation going and keep it flowing. So I want to start off with a brief introduction of our panelists. So I will begin with myself. Hey everybody, Rob Harris here, and so as you know, I am a member of, as you may know, I'm a member of Metro SDA Church, and I'm an elder, and I love creating spaces for us to talk about some real things that are affecting us. With us today, we also have, let me, and if you are home complaining how this is looking real rough, you should try doing this. DJ, if you can unmute yourself, DJ, and introduce yourself, please.
Hi, everybody. My name is DJ. I am originally from Boston. I spent some time in the DMV. Thank you, stand up. But yeah, I'm just to be able to be on this in this program today on this panel. Looking forward to it.
Thanks, DJ. Now we're going to move on to Max, is another one of our panelists. Max, if you can introduce yourself, please, and take yourself off mute. My bad, Max, you're still muted.
Did that work? All right. Hey, everybody, this is Max Sejour. I live in the Atlanta area, Atlanta, Georgia, and I actually attend West End SDA down here. And yeah, I been down here for 3 years, grew up in the Northeast, originally from Haiti, and yeah, I guess that's about it.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sean. I live in Mount Vernon, New York. Went to church primarily in the Bronx, but now I go to church at the F.L.O.W Fellowship Mission in Stamford, Connecticut. I can't hear you. Why?
Thanks for joining us and being part of a conversation. And I'm telling you, everybody out there in the internet world, save your judgments for later. You try doing this, okay? Just saying. Thanks, Sean.
You're welcome.
Monique.
Hi, everyone. My name is Monique. Originally from New York and currently go to Metro SDA. Yeah, that's all I got.
Appreciate it. Jumping over here to Ave. I think I'm pronouncing that wrong.
Avery.
Avery. Tell them who you are, where you're from. Avery, you are muted. So all this.
Avery, you're muted.
Okay. Hey guys, can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes. Go ahead.
Yes. All right. So my name is Avery. I'm from New York as well, and I'm in the DMV now. I guess I go to Metro as well sometimes. Most times.
All right, appreciate you joining us. All right, and we got some other panelists who are being a little shy. We will get to them when time gets started. But let me start off with this, everybody. here's my question. I want to hear from everybody at some point. So be ready because I may cold call you. Should you shoot your shot or not? And let us start off with the patriarchy. So we're gonna start off with Max. Go ahead, Max. Should you shoot your shot or not?
How did I become the patriarchy? So I just wanted to get a little bit more details, a little bit more clarity. When you say shoot your shots, you talking about for anybody, or you talking about from the female perspective? As a guy thinking about the female perspective.
Great question, Max. From the female perspective, should females shoot their shot? You got 2 minutes.
So yeah. So there's a meme that's been going around on Facebook that I'm sure a lot of you have seen. It's church women shoot their shots with a plate of food. I'm sure a lot of you have seen that. And I'm like, man, that is so true. That's one of the best ways for a woman to shoot her shots. I personally believe that women can shoot their shots and should shoot their shots, but there's a way to do it. I guess I'm an old school type of guy, and I'm not really, I'm not really into the woman comes to me, hey, can I get your number? I want to take you out. Not really my thing, but she comes up, there's ways that I've seen. I used to live in the Maryland area as well. I used to go to RPC and church and Miracle Temple and stuff like that. And man, there's different ways that women shot their shots, you know what I mean? But it's always real cool and subtle. So yeah, I'm a big proponent of there's a way for a woman to approach or let a guy know that she's interested in for him to come after her. That's how I feel about it.
So you're saying yes, but within context.
Yeah. I'm not
within context.
I'm not a big fan of straight up, hey, I want to take you out. I want you to be my man type thing. No, I think there's a way for a woman to be able to do these things where the guy's like, oh, okay. And the guy notices her and then he can go up because she comes around a lot, like I've experienced that different ways. Or she makes herself helpful, available, smiles, and does little subtle things where the guy's like, okay. All right, I see what's going on here. And then he kind of starts leading the path.
All right. Appreciate you sharing, Max. All right, I'm gonna come to you, DJ. You're next. Shoot your shot or no?
Yeah, I'm for it, but like Max said, and there's a way to do it. I'm pretty traditional. Well, it's not that I'm pretty traditional, I'm actually not very traditional, but I am a little bit more on the shy side, so I would never do it. But I do know how to position myself for him to shoot his shot, and I think that's for me, yeah. But I don't see, well, at least not the men up here. They don't mind the aggressive approach. I think a lot of them like that. They like the confidence in it, but there's a way. I think there's a way that you can do it. I think sometimes, at least for me, I believe that some men just like they like that opportunity to kind of like chase a little bit. So if you're like super aggressive, they're gonna be like, but then again, at the end of the day, if that's the type of person that they are, I mean, everyone's not for you. So if I'm aggressive, if you don't like that, then I'm not for you. There will be a man who likes, a little bit more forward. But as for
I'm hearing from you, DJ. It's you're leaning more on the shoot your shot if you're a lady.
Yeah.
That's all right. Okay. Yeah. Let me jump to Sean. Let me hear what you got to say. Shoot your shot or not?
So I'm definitely not what you would consider a shy or reserved person. So my answer is more likely in that area would be yes. But I'm gonna say it depends. So I'm leaning towards yes, because of the person I am. I believe if you have a certain issue with someone or, you should share whatever you're thinking, especially so that there's no doubts or confusion as to what's going on with people in relationships, whether platonic relationships, whether, just casual friendships, relationships in general, you should let people know. Be like, I think you're too rough as a friend, or I think you're too kind to some people sometimes. I'm all for honesty and openness in every relationship. So I say yes, but also be mindful, because I think I did that once and it went well, went awesome, spectacular. But in the relationship, I ended up thinking, did I want this more than he did?
Oh,
Like, I had that hanging over my head the whole time, when in truth and in fact, I barely shot my shot. And he was just like, yes, immediately, instantaneously. I think I positioned myself, as DJ said. But in my brain, like, I was the one pushing this, and maybe I should fall back. And I started to create scenarios in my head simply because I was the one who somewhat initiated. So if you're gonna shoot your shot, just be mindful that, it's cool to shoot your shot. And if it doesn't work out, then oh well. And for any guys, for me, I'm female, and for any guy who thinks, it's too forward or too direct, then that's definitely not the guy for me. So it's cool.
all right. I appreciate you sharing that. All right, Avery, you up next. Let's see what you got to say. Should the lady shoot her shot or not? Don't forget to unmute yourself. Hold on, I got you. Go ahead.
It's still muted.
Didn't work. I tried.
Hello.
All right, you good.
All right, so yeah, I think I agree with DJ. So not necessarily shooting their shot, but like positioning themselves for the guy to kind of shoot their shot. I think sometimes, we are not the most welcoming. So if you can kind of, and like, I guess some guys just don't really know what the situation is. So if you can kind of give us whatever subtle hints that can help us along the way to say, it's okay for you to shoot your shot. Shots are welcome here somehow, like without putting up a sign. But if you can kind of make it easy to say, like, yeah, we do some shooting on this side. So yeah, I think I'm okay with women positioning themselves. I do think that I also understand that sometimes it could be a little intimidating, or just it can come off a little aggressive if you have a woman who's kind of shooting her shot. It's like some guys might feel as if this is my role. So when you kind of when they're in that driver's seat, it's just kind of like we don't know what to do. I think it's just uncomfortable because we're just so used to being the shot taker. So when it's kind of flipped, sometimes I can say it's kind of nice, but there's some other times when it's like, whoa, like it's a little too much. So I think those are my thoughts there.
Oh, we're gonna have to get back to that. I like that comment. We're gonna have to get back to that. Let me hear from my man Dylan. Dylan, should a lady shoot her shot or not? Monique, you're next.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead, Dylan.
You can hear me?
Yep.
All right, cool. Yeah, so honestly, I think that either party could shoot their shot. When it comes to pursuing the shot that's been shot, that's I feel like that's up to the other person. I feel like women should position themselves if they're too shy to say, hey, how you doing, or try to give them their number or whatever. But there's no reason, why either party can't shoot their shot. Majority of men, I think, do that though. But I do think that times are changing, and a lot of guys these days are being more I wouldn't say shy, but cautious. Because of the PC culture that we have, sometimes some people may see that as offensive, or the way that you may be coming on to them or something like that may be seen as offensive. Or how many other reasons, some guys are very cautious against that. So I think it's important to
We might be losing Dylan. He got 45 seconds anyway, so. Thanks, Dylan. We appreciate your comment. Gonna move on. Monique, shoot your shot or not? Oh.
See both sides shoot their shot.
All right, Dylan saying both sides shoot their shot. Monique, shoot your shot or nah?
For me, nah. I feel like that's the guy's job. I'm old school. I like to be pursued. I'm not saying I'm not gonna position myself like we said previously, like, I will stand, in a position for you to come talk to me, but I'm shooting my shot. That's just me.
All right, going to Lexi next. Alexia, should you shoot your shot or nah?
I kind of, well,
Should a
for me,
lady shoot a shot? Yeah.
well, depends on what the shoot your shot means. If I'm going up directly to say, hey, I like you, I want you to talk to me. No. I think I agree with DJ. It's positioning yourself, and they are I guess for there are things that a woman does. We know what those things are to catch the person's eye that we think we like or that we think we're interested in. There's certain things that a woman does. And not every woman knows how to do that. I've noticed, or some people may be uncomfortable with that. Some women may be shy or uncomfortable with being that way, but I think I don't personally wouldn't be comfortable with just going up saying I like you. Can you give me your number? Can you talk to me? But I will definitely give you the body language or the unspoken language that I'm interested in you, and then you can approach me.
Appreciate that. I'm about to go to Hans, but just for everybody watching on YouTube, please use the chat feature. If you are a lady, let me know. Are you the type of lady that wants to shoot your shot or nah? And if you're a dude, do you feel that ladies should shoot their shot or nah? All right, Hans, wrap it up for us before we go on to our next question. Shoot your shot or nah for the ladies?
Yeah, so I was having this conversation with my dad earlier, just like 40 minutes ago. He was like, it is totally cultural that women naturally are not comfortable shooting their shot. And it's all relative to what shooting your shot is. Like if it comes down to just introducing yourself and being forward, that's fine. But also culturally and how it's supposed to be socially, it's like men are supposed to be the chasers. And so they shoot their shot. If you feel like you see somebody that you like and you're more forward than they are according to your personality, then nothing should stop you from actually experiencing what lies outside of just being friends with that person if you feel like there's chemistry there.
I appreciate that. All right, we got our first question in from YouTube, so I'm putting it out there to all my panelists. If you're interested in answering, just give me a little wave and I'll let you, I'll put you on spotlight. So Olivia asked, is there a difference between pursuit and initiation? All right, I'm putting you on. Go ahead, DJ. The difference between pursuit or initiation?
There definitely is, for me, in my book. I think when I think shooting my shot, I think initiating, like, hey, I'm here. But then, no. Like the actual pursuit needs to come from him. That's how I see it. Because, like I said, I think men are like naturally they're naturally geared toward the chase, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's fun for them, so might as well. I can let you know that I'm interested in you, but best believe there's still work to do. There's still work to be done.
Wow, DJ said you have to put in that work. Don't get lazy.
Right.
Leg day today.
It's like I'm here, but I'm not going to be doing all the work for you. And it's funny because it's something that Sean said that like stuck with me, where like I'm one of those people where I'll get lost in that, like, because I initiated, am I going to be doing all the work? Do I like you more than you like me? You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I'm like, all right, I'm here. I initiated. Cool. Your turn.
All right. 53 seconds to spare. DJ saying there's a big difference between pursuit and initiation. She's going to let you know she's interested. She's going to put in work. Who else want to go in? Hans, I see you nodding your head. Anybody? Oh, Sean? All right, Sean. Pursuit and initiation.
Pursuit and initiation by definition are different. Initiation is like the introduction or beginning to something, and pursuit is the follow-up, the continuous or continual follow-up. And DJ made it really clear. I think she broke it down pretty well. Initiation is me saying, hey, how are you? I go to Metro, I go to Breath of Life. Like, I feel like that's a lot of information in today. That's all you need. You could reverse Google a photo, you know, or me saying, do you have an Instagram? That's like initiation. And because of what Han said, the patriarchy, you know, decided that men should pursue. And you know, we've been operating as such. So then after I've initiated, then you could take the helm from there and pursue.
I hope y'all heard this right? So basically, Sean said if you know what church you go to, and she asks you for your Instagram, the rest is on you.
Right.
Who else want to go? I'm looking at Max, Monique, Hans, Dylan, Avery. Avery, you laughing too hard. Let me see what's good. Difference between pursuit and initiation. Take yourself on mute.
I think we just have to define initiation, because I disagree. That's not enough. You can't just say you introduce yourself to me, you ask me for my Instagram, and it's you initiating. Now I have to go and pursue it. You could just be a nice person. Like, what a nice lady in the church. Look at all these welcoming young adults. She just gave me her Instagram. You know, like, that could be taken anyway.
So is
whoa.
You got to do a little bit more in your initiation. But I would agree, yes, there's a difference. You got to give me a little bit more to initiate. Like, I got to know that by you introducing yourself on Instagram. I mean, I could think something, but I could also think that, oh, that's a nice lady.
All right, yo, Sean. So you got a couple of people want to come back at you. I'm gonna let Alexia jump in on this. Sean was so polite, she raised her hand. Alexia, you got 2 minutes on the clock. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to ask Avery. Do you think nonverbal body language is a thing? Is that a thing anymore? Is the you know, they say the eyes are the windows to the soul. So, you know, some women, you know, have, you know, mastered certain things. So
Absolutely.
It's not just words only. It's also how you treat that person differently from other people around you. And if you can't identify that, then maybe you're missing it.
No.
All right, hold on. Let me get Sean a chance. Let me get Sean a chance to go back. Hans is laughing at you. Hans, you're gonna get in here too. Go ahead, Avery.
So I was saying to Avery, and I understand what you're saying. I could just be being polite, but the pursuit aspect, or where you take over from there, is if you are interested, you let me know. I have given you an avenue or an opportunity / icebreaker situation where you can now come to me without feeling weird or uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
Okay, let me test the waters. And if it's no, of course it's no, but you'll never know. I'll never know what you're thinking, just like you'll never know what I'm thinking. By me initiating the conversation and stuff, then you could be like, okay, clearly she doesn't think I'm a weirdo or a serial killer. Let me then shoot my shot. You know, so it's like a little alley-oop, but it's just like guys don't take the, you know, assist half the time.
Max, I see you over here in the corner, man. Sean is basically putting men on blast, saying they don't take the assist. But here's my question for you, Max. Do you think women, like, is it often clear that that's what they're trying to do? Is it clear that they want you to basically go to the lane? We got to clear this pun analogy. Are they making it clear that they want you to go to the lane for that dunk?
You know what? It's not always that simple. I'll be honest with you. There is never a one-size-fits-all when it comes to the dynamics between men and women. There's so many different variables, because you have some women that are very open, friendly. They see somebody like, hey, you know, that's just them. And there's some women that are more reserved and keep to their lane. So I do believe, though, that Sean was right. That is initiation. There is a big difference between initiation and pursuit. And that initiation part is really cool. And if you know how to read it right, the guy will react. Especially if he likes you, he's going to react. Because if a sister's stepping up to you and you like her, and she's like, hey, what's your Instagram? I was going like, okay. And that's his chance to do what he's got to do. But if the dude is like reacting like this, then at that point, he's either not interested, or you know what? He can't play ball. That's what it comes down to. And so she's got to move on.
Wow, Hans,
You know what I mean?
I want to get you. I want to get you in on this, Hans. What do you think? Oh, hold up, Hans. Monique, you've been real quiet. What's your thought on this? Because you wanted somebody to shoot their shot first. So what's your thoughts, Monique?
What was the original question? I don't remember. Where were we?
Pursuit and initiation.
Pursuit and initiation. And would you say, hold on, let me show you this. Monique, would you say that you put yourself in position for shots to be made?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
What does that look like for you? Oh, I mean, are we telling away trade secrets? Are these?
No, like for example, if we're at church, right, and I see a guy that I like or whatever, and I feel like he wants to talk to me, I'm not gonna go stand like in a group of 10 females because I feel like that's intimidating for him to talk to me or whatever. Or if I have a reason to say hi to him, I'm not gonna be like, hey, I'm Monique. No, but like if I have a reason, like say he did like a poem or did a something, I'm like, oh hi, like today was nice, but whatever. But I'm not about to be like, hey, what's good? There's my number. You want to talk to me later? Like, let's go get some lunch. No, I'm not doing all that.
All right, appreciate it. Monique says if you get a high from her, it's a potential. It's a possibility. Maybe. Just maybe. Let's keep it real. Hans, what's your thought, man? Pursuit, interest, being positioned in the right position.
I mean, I've always been the type to chase what I seem to feel like I have a vibe connection with. That's why I invited her to the discussion. She's listening right now. I think we all know.
Hold up, Hans. You can't drop nothing like that. We need to give you a round of applause, my dude. That was smooth. All right, go ahead.
Shout out to Bae. She's here right now. I love you. We always kind of go back to these little stories that who did what just to get to where we are, and sometimes I change the story a little bit, or sometimes I give a little bit of secret to what I did or how I felt about it, just so we can all like get a perspective. But I feel like Ave knows this pretty well. Like, you catch a vibe from somebody, you see their pursuit, you see that they willingly gave you the Instagram and whatnot, and they so happen to feel a way about you. At that point, you have the benefit of the doubt. You have pretty much the warrant to search. You know what I mean? Like, you can literally follow up to see where this goes. Now, you could do it as a Christian man or whatever, or a respectful person. You could like offer an advance on things like, where should we go from here? Like, would you like to hang out sometimes? The worst you could say is no. And from that point on, like, if you met her at church, okay, let's go to church. I'll pick you up. Hence, and the worst she could say is no. I mean, obviously, there's a reason why she pretty much suggested to share her Instagram profile with you. I mean, we can just be friends. Like, platonic friends happen due to the vibe that leads after that. If they realize that you're not on it, then okay, you're not on it. But this is a new friend. You get to figure out what she likes, what she doesn't like, where you guys can hang out together and see where this goes from there. So I feel like the invite itself is a blessing. Some people don't even give you that much at all.
That's real. That's real, Hans. And there's something in the chat, and I kind of want to bleed it into a question for everybody. Whoever feels free, jump in. I think it was Sean and then DJ, you echoed it. Does whoever initiate, is there potential for the person who initiate to feel like they're the one, regardless, pursuing, like they're the one investing a bit more? Or is the level of investment attached to the amount of pursuit? Like, can a dude feel like, yo, I'm overly invested right now in pursuing you, but you're not really feeling it? Like, does that begin to come into the cycle of the game? Where like, now you gotta play like you're not really interested and I gotta come after you and this, that, and the third. What's your thoughts on that?
I can answer real quick.
Right,
That's actually why I don't like want to pursue, just because I feel like if I do that, then I'm doing too much. Like, I invested too much, and then I don't know how to explain it too well, but that's just how I felt about it.
I see you, Avery. I'm coming to you. Go ahead. Hold up, Avery. We gotta unmute you.
All right. I had a couple things. I'm kind of with my boy Max. I think there's really no one size that fits all. But something that I think Sean said was that guys don't take the alley-oop. And I don't think that's fair. There's some guys that see the alley-oop and they have good hands. They could catch, but they just choose not to go for that pass. And I think that women have a problem with it. And then in return, it's like, oh, guys are crazy, or guys, they don't get it, or he doesn't have a clue. He has a lot of clues. He's just not interested in that. I think that we gotta be honest. To answer this question here, Monique, I just think we just afraid to get hurt. People are just afraid of the possibility of getting rejected. And I think that's why on both sides, there's not enough shots being taken because everybody's trying to protect their feelings. And yeah, but I think, yeah, I'm with Max. I think that some guys, we could play the game, but sometimes we don't choose to. And I think that we shouldn't be criticized for not going for that alley-oop.
I'm gonna pause so somebody out there can step out their feelings because that was real stupid. Go ahead, Max. I know somebody hurt by that one. Go ahead, Max. What's your thoughts?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that was just on point. I wanted to share a story. Can I give a story real quick? Do I have time?
You got 2 minutes on the clock. You got a minute 53 now.
I'll say it real quickly. There was a young lady that I met at one of these little potluck get-togethers years back, and when I saw her, it was like, right. I taught her something. It was in the middle of the place there. There was a game and I was teaching her something, and I didn't think much about her. I was like, she's cool. I don't know how much later this was, but there was one day where I was in church and I didn't have a place to sit. And she was like, you want to sit here? And I was like, okay, cool. So she kind of had to move over to make room because it was real tight. So I sat next to her. Then, we were talking, conversing a little bit. It was cool, right? No big deal. But then she took her Bible when there was a Bible verse being talked about. She opened it and she shared the Bible with me. Okay, cool. And at one point, she even had me hold the Bible, and then she took a baby from someone else, and the Bible was kind of between us.
You went from single to family, my dude? What just happened?
I kid you not. From that day on, I never saw her the same way. It changed my whole perspective on it. It literally felt like a family. And I looked at her in my mind, and I was like, yo, this chick is dope. And the funny thing is, a ways later, we ended up going on a date. The chemistry was never there. But that one thing that she did changed how I saw her to this day. So yeah, there's ways that a woman could actually make the whole situation change where the guy could be like, oh, okay, I don't want to pursue this. But the truth is that you have to understand, if you throw up an alley-oop and the guy doesn't catch it and dunk it, you have to understand it's not for you. Period. You gotta respect that and move on.
I appreciate you sharing that story, and you met the time too. So let me lean forward, right? Last week it came up that it seemed, or it would appear to be, that whether it be pursuit or initiation was primarily for men. Now I'm hearing from you guys that it's okay to maybe shoot a shot, right? And it may be okay to initiate, where for women, put yourself in position to, to be approached. But if we're saying that reason people don't do that is because they don't get hurt, why is it okay then for men to pursue? Doesn't that put them at risk to being hurt more than women? I want to start off with my dudes. What are your thoughts? Are we being put as cannon fodder? Oh, Hans sitting up. I'm gonna let him go first. Go ahead, Hans. You look at you sitting up.
No, I actually agree. Last time I stayed quiet because I'm seeing that people are pulling up Bible verses just to support their thesis, and I'm like, wow. So what about our feelings? Like, what about our bravery? That's just something, that's just a character trait for men only. And, sometimes we say these things just to trigger their pride, just to see what they say back. Because, when everything else comes into play, these rules don't apply, right?
Facts.
However,
facts.
When it comes to pursuing or going for after what you feel is right, if you do see a potential in that person, bravery is required from both men and women. So I feel as if, like, if you're not trying to be bold enough just to see the days past, hi, how you doing? We should go somewhere. Then you're not really interested. If what's the word? What's the word? If denial is something you're more scared of just to see the potential what can happen between you and the other party, then you don't want it bad enough. Like, what is a no really gonna do to you? Like, where are you in your level of confidence?
That's right. Yep.
No really breaks you down.
You getting support out here, man. Somebody out here on YouTube is saying, shout out to you for giving man props for bravery.
Yeah, it takes a lot of skills, smoothness, and bravery. Maybe a few prayers to get to where you need to be to actually approach a woman who we know is full of wits and pride, and she might say no, but she's trying to test you to see how much of that pursuing power you have. Like, all of these things are games, and it's part of what it is that creates the potential of what could be from that moment on.
Appreciate you sharing that, Hans. All right. Sean raised their hand. I want to get one other. Sean, if you just mind being courteous for us, I want to get one other dude, and then I'll go Sean and DJ. So Avery, Max, or Dylan, which one of you want to tackle this idea? Why is it okay for men to get hurt? Oh, you both. All right. You know, wow, dudes, come on. Max, all right, go ahead. Why is it okay for dudes to get hurt?
So, like I said, I think there's a natural order of things because of the way women are versus the way guys are. So, as a guy, you have to lead and put yourself out there. Now, Hans gave a great analogy, and I'm gonna give the opposite of that analogy. I'll be honest with you. So I could see Hans is just like that dude, that Mac dude that's like, yo, he'll spit his game, not worry about it. It's like it's nothing to him, doesn't affect him. You know what I'm saying? But here's the reality. That's not everybody. I'm gonna put myself out there. I'm gonna give my example. That's not my strength. I'm gonna be honest with you. One thing about me, I've never in my whole life ever been into picking up a stranger that I don't know nothing about. I don't know what you were doing last night. I'll be honest with you. And yes, people could say, well, even someone that you don't know what they were doing last night, but you know a lot more about them and the probability of how they live their lives than a complete stranger. You walk down the street, pick up that complete stranger, you might think you're that special enough to get them, but the other person could have done the same thing. You don't know what they were doing. So for me, that's never been a strength that I developed. The more you do something, the easier it becomes. And so for people who want to develop that strength, you just go out there, practice, right? I've never wanted that. Personally, I prefer people that I know. Like, I see that sister in church, you're always active, you're here, I see you smiling. I'd rather step to you than a complete stranger. So that's never been my strength, to go put myself out there to a complete stranger. Now, I've done it, and because I'm not comfortable, it hasn't worked out a lot, but I'm a lot better, and my percentage is a lot better with my friends. So people don't realize, and I've heard so many women ask this, why don't guys just step up and shoot their shots? It's not that simple. Every woman is different. One woman is gonna want a guy to be more bold about it, more clever about it. And because one person could be like, hey, my name is Max, and one woman's gonna think that's corny. And then another woman, if you're down the street, she might respond better to, hey, ma. So there's a lot of different variables, but that's where you have to start understanding the individual, because there's a lot of different nuance when it comes to men and women. Each different men and women, and the way they see and feel about different things.
I appreciate you sharing that. All right, let me hear what the ladies got to say now, because they look real eager to jump in. All right, so Sean, I'm gonna start with you, and we'll follow up with you, DJ, Alexia, and Monique. I'll see what you guys got to follow up after. So, all right, Sean. Why is it okay for men to get hurt?
Like a quick follow-up question, because Hans had mentioned in his initial statements that women shooting their shot is not really the thing, and culturally and socially that's not how we've been operating. But it's kind of like, now you're saying men get hurt, so which is it? Do you guys want to be brave and shoot your shots, or do you guys want to accept a woman who's more forward? Like, you can't have it both ways. You're either gonna resign to the accepted norms of y'all being responsible for pursuing, with the understanding that rejection is possible. And I feel like this is not even just like a dating thing. A lot of people don't apply to schools or scholarships or jobs because they feel like they're going to get rejected, when in truth and in fact, Brody, a no is not gonna hurt you like physically. It's just a no. Move on to the next. So it's just like everybody wants to have it their way, like Burger King. But it's either you wanna to it's no, I'm just saying it's either you wanna be the alpha male, or you alpha male and know that you might get hurt, or you're gonna be like, okay, I respect that you're straightforward with your intentions. Okay, we could do this. Why does everybody like get in their heads? What are we supposed to do if everybody's gonna be afraid?
Oh, I gotta come back to that, but let me get DJ inside here. Go ahead, DJ. What's your thoughts on this?
Okay, so let's start off with there's
2
no
minutes on the clock.
without great risk. That's one. Like, honestly, women have the same fears of rejection as men do. I feel like we take it a little better sometimes.
Wow. Just wow. Way to take every opportunity, DJ. Way to take every opportunity.
Sorry, I'm trying to stimulate more conversation in the comments. No, like I get it. It it requires a lot from we require a lot from men, but if you think about it, in the path that the natural path that a relationship should be, especially if you're talking about men being leaders, men being like the priests in their own home, and all these other things, well, you gotta be brave. You gotta start somewhere. Like, how am I expected to follow if I'm leading? How am I expected to follow somebody who is not brave enough to approach me?
Let me then respond to you, DJ, because in that, what happens then when he wants to lead you to places you don't want to go and then you speak up, right? Is there some sense of acquiescence into that process that then becomes an issue later on? Because you want him to lead, you want him to initiate, you want him to take charge in this process to get you, because that's what you want. But now what happens when in the relationship, he's trying to go in a direction that he thinks is best for you all, but you don't want it? Is he not supposed to lead then? Because I think sometimes that happens, right? You end up creating these monsters of men who are either super dope at shooting shots, and now you mad. I may have heard this someplace else, because they're really good at it. They percentages just hit from everywhere on the court. Now you're like, oh, so you just want to talk to everybody, right? Like, like I was told that I got to shoot my shot, so I do, and I'm good at it. And or you mad because now I am an alpha male, and I'm gonna need a real strong alpha female to come at me. So what is your thoughts to that, ladies? I'm gonna let Alexia jump in here right quick, so I see her.
I guess I was just a little confused, because I don't think shooting your shot means then you're dragging me along somewhere. I'm confused. Where's the conversation? Yeah. And why wouldn't I say, why, if you tell me you're taking me somewhere where I don't want to go, why would I have a conversation? Hey, why you choose this place? Or let's have a conversation about this whole process. There has to be some sort of communication throughout this whole process. It's not, and I guess what, and I go back to what Sean was saying, it's like we're so in our heads about these things that it's almost like we're so up there. It's a conversation. If you're interested in me and I'm interested, if you shoot your shot at me and I had made it known that I was interested in you, whether it was unspoken or spoken, we're getting to know each other now. Now this is us getting to know each other, us figuring out what we like, what we don't like, or, just getting to know each other. It's not because you shot your shot. It doesn't now say that, and we go back to the head of the household and your leader. That doesn't say it sounds like you're dragging me regardless, and not even, you're kind of disregarding who I am in this process. That I'm not understanding.
Just putting questions. Avery, what's your thoughts on this? I see you scratching your head, my guy.
I was gonna comment earlier when we were talking about the sensitivity part with men, or like the feelings in men shooting their shots, and I just don't think that society, not just women, but society as a whole, we don't allow men to have feelings or to be sensitive. And speaking as a sensitive man,
appreciate brother, I got you.
yeah, I don't think it's fair. You know, I think sometimes we're often looked at as a piece of meat or or a machine or
Just
like
an item.
or a wallet or or a career, and it's not fair because we're
Never
like
a person.
right, we're these whole beings and we're so much more than that. And I do think that it's we just don't have the like DJ said that women handle it better, rejection, which I disagree with. I just don't think that there's any space or room for men to be rejected. Or when we are rejected, it's just we don't like men showing emotion is such an uncommon thing to see. So it just makes everybody uncomfortable. But I do think we have to do a better job in making masculinity. It's okay to be sensitive, and being sensitive is a part of being masculine. I think we have to allow men to feel. And that's all I have.
Appreciate it. Hans or Max, I see you got nodded heads. Let me get Hans. You haven't got you in here a bit. Hans, what you thought? Monique, coming to you after.
Yeah, I agree with Ave. I feel like so much pressure is put on the man because he's supposed to be tough. Like, oh yeah, what if I tell him no, toughen up or whatever. But I think the masculinity has to be a balanced masculinity. Because by being masculine, we don't want to get away with being told that we're too sensitive, because then that creates imbalance. It's like you don't know where to be. So I also think that just off of just the chemistry that you pick up from somebody, this should give you enough to search and see like what is out there for you with that person. And also I feel like both men and women should just be comfortable with pursuing and seeing where things go without having to overstep their roles. No one's asking anybody to overstep their roles, but if there's interest, then each party have to do their due diligence to see where that goes. Like if you're gonna sit there and wait, okay, princess, that's not how it works. I might not.
Okay, princess. Nice.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have to try and give out something to get something. I'm not gonna sit here and read your mind. I'm not gonna sit here and do the most neither. But like if I have an interest and I feel like I'm the most vocal, then I might go out there and pursue it. I don't even have to be an alpha male or the smooth cat. It's like I see something and I'd like to pursue and see where it goes. And it could happen either with casual conversations where like, hey, actually I feel like you're a really nice girl and I'm not trying to be too forward or anything, but hey, that would be okay if you say no, but I just wanted to know it would be not a bother to you to go out sometime. And or if the woman is like, hey, listen, I don't want to overstep my role or whatever. But hey, listen, are you doing anything later? You could stop right there. He'd be like, yeah, not really. Okay, that's cool. If she says, okay, that's cool, you're like, dang, she asked me what I'm doing later. I think the best thing to do is either suggest something or just be a dub. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about the hints and the way you can carry this to without feeling like you're doing too much as a woman, as a man. Like you need to open your eyes and see if you're being pursued as well, to the point where you don't have to look like a beta or so, whatever.
All right.
As opposed to like all the things you have to do just to get to where you need to be with a woman.
So I hear you saying that there's a balance, man. You got to keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open at all times. Okay, we get Monique inside here, and then there were some questions popping around, some in the chat, so I want to get to something else. So Monique, you got any thoughts on this?
I'll throw that question in the chat. Roles, excuse me. I'm sorry, what? I don't really I think you need to
Explain
clarify
yourself. What are you talking about?
But I'll give you a chance to do that afterwards. But the points that I wanted to say were that one, I feel like we are speaking as though once there's like a relationship or something, it's like one-sided. Like just because you pursue me doesn't mean that I'm gonna say yes. You know what I mean? Like I'm still having.
Oh, Dylan.
What happened?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So I still have an option to say no or be like I'm not interested either. So it's like if I'm interested, I'll show that I'm interested. I can still show interest without pursuing. And I feel like that can create that balance. If you pursue me and I show interest and we both show interest, then it should be fine. But I'm curious to know what roles we have.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can
whoa, hold on. Let's slow roll. Dylan, my man, trying to get inside here, and we got about
Okay, I'm trying to say
39 minutes. 39 minutes to go, but Rose is a minefield, so let's be real cautious about how we jump in that.
Yeah, I'm very cautious.
Go ahead,
I'm
Dylan.
very balancing what I'm about to say. I didn't mean
Hold
to.
on, Hans. Let me get Dylan inside here though, real quick.
Okay, go ahead, Dylan.
So I mean, this just goes back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so this just goes back to my original point of, I mean, I don't know what Hans is about to say about roles, but I honestly think when it comes to the amount of effort that it takes for a guy to, you know, go out there and put out the effort to talk to a female, it becomes a numbers game because of the fact that if you lose once, right? You increase your efforts, every time that you go out there and you swing that bat. You know what I mean? So I tell people this all the time. You lose 100% of the shots that you don't shoot, right? So if you never shoot a shot, right, how can you really say that you tried to, you're trying to get into a relationship, or you're trying to meet people, whatever, you lose 100% of the shots that you don't shoot. You know what I mean? So if I feel like, yes, we can have our preference, like, yeah, I don't really feel like, being rejected or whatever, but the sad thing is that rejection will always find you no matter what. If it's your job, whether it's the ending of a relationship, whether it's, you're not getting something that you wanted, so I think both sides should take that chance.
All right. So I'm gonna make a pivot and a shift into a different conversation. I'm also gonna make a point of clarity. Gentlemen, we were asked to make sure to refer to women as women and not females. So if you can make that conscious shift out of respect. I see your hands, Hans. So here's the thing, and hopefully I can make a decent transition for this. Most women will say it's the man's role to pursue. Most women will say it's the man's role to lead the household. But then most women will say it's not their role to, fill in the blank, whatever that may be. So why is that fair? Why is it that men have these defined roles that they seem to not be able to step out of, lest they get called anything, right? Less than masculine, but it's okay for women to explore everything else? Let me hear your thoughts on that. Max, go ahead.
So can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Max.
Yeah, so a long time ago in my various pursuits when I was younger, okay, let me correct that. In my various relationships, I realized that the word role in today's society, and I've started learning that lesson since like the early 2000s, has a negative connotation only on one side. When a guy uses the word, women are quick to tell you what they expect you to do. You're not gonna be a bum. You're not gonna sit on my couch. You gotta get this. You gotta get a degree. This and that. They'll tell you all the things that you need to do and you better do. But the second you say role, then it's a big turnoff, and the conversation goes. It's literally throwing a bomb. So for me, I've gotten to the point where I'm no longer concerned about using that word. A lot of women are turned off by that word, but they use it all the time, and they're strict on what they expect the men to do. But for us, we're not allowed to say these things for one, and it's just how society has that's the direction that society
is. That a double standard of the patriarchy?
It is
Is that what it sounds like? A double standard of the patriarchy?
And
okay,
a lot of people won't admit it, but ask a woman what she wants out of the potential husband.
She will say the word role.
List of what he better do. But we can't do that.
Look at you, DJ Co-Sign. I'm coming to you. So Hans, you got 2 minutes on the clock. Hans, thank you for sharing, Max. Hans, 2 minutes on the clock.
All right. First and foremost, I get that this word somehow triggers people, but it all depends on what your connotation and your preconceived notion about the what it is. What I'm saying is, from last Saturday, the conversation already started with what role as a man you're supposed to do when it comes to pursuing, to the point where
Mhm.
women really went out there to show the facts on in Bible verses about like what you should do when it comes to pursuing.
Real strong.
So
They came real strong
this
with
is
it.
why I was making the differences in how like you don't have to feel as if you have to be the one that is too forward and letting somebody know like, hey, I'm kind of wanting to see where this is going, or like, would you like to do something sometimes? It's not about roles like, oh, you ought to do this or you ought to do that. In fact, we already carry that cross anyway. Okay. So when I say role, it's like without anybody feeling like, oh, it should be a man that pursues me, or it's, as a woman, I probably should not be too forward in trying to like make this guy see that I'm trying to get at him. So when it comes to roles, I'm not scared to say roles. Like there's nothing wrong with roles. We all have roles, as long as they're respected, as long as there are boundaries, as long as you have an actual objective to what you're saying. And roles don't mean that you don't have the rights to say no. You have all your freedom to say no. You have all your freedom to pursue. You have all the things that you have available at your disposal, as long as you're comfortable with it or not, according to your culture, according to how you were raised, according to your background, spiritually, um, mentally, and all that. So at the end of the day, we get told what we ought to do anyway, and sometimes I feel like that's not the case. And if it gets turned off, then it gets turned off. Like as long as you have the freedom or the opportunity to explain yourself, as far as that is, you get that clarified. And if the person doesn't feel the same way, then it is what it is.
Appreciate it. All right. I'd like to hear from the ladies. Hopefully that's all right. I'm going to begin with you. Well, I'm actually beginning with DJ, if that's okay, because I saw she had some nods of affirmation at some point. So what are your thoughts on this?
Well, a lot of things. Well, I mean, with the whole role things, for me personally, like I said before, the reason why I prefer a man to do the pursuit, um, is because I know that I would have it in my head, like, am I sure that he's really interested in me, or is he just going along for the ride because, hey, I'm here, I'm available, you know what I'm saying? And I'm open and honest enough with myself to know that, which is why for me, my preference is that the man will pursue me. And definitely roles are, it's an understanding between the people involved. Absolutely. Like we create our own roles. I know relationships that, you know, defy societal norms or whatever have you. And yeah, women are gonna get sensitive about the word roles because the patriarchy, like, um, for generations on generations on generations, we've been told what our roles have been. So now, you know, you guys get a little bit taste of what we've been going through.
I mean,
For
was that not the same for men, though?
but no, I do understand that it's not fair to have, you guys should have the room for your feelings and for you to be able to be scared and sensitive and nervous and rejection. But the only reason why I said women take it slightly better
Mm-hmm.
than men
Mm-hmm.
is because women are out here dying because they said no. That's a real thing that happens. That's it. And that's also why, you know, I get it. It's really nuanced because a man doesn't want, you have no idea if she's in a position that's ready to like receive anything that you have to say. You don't know what trauma is there, that, you know, your hello or your smile or whatever is going to, you know, open up a can of worms. But that's particularly why nonverbal communication for me is essential and why I position myself.
Appreciate it. All right, Sean. And I think it what I said is right. You screaming no silently. Don't forget to unmute yourself, Sean. All right, I think you're good to go.
Yeah, I mean, just a few things. The whole someone in the YouTube chat was mentioning about roles being expectations, and sometimes you expect things or you think things are normal without realizing it until someone challenges the fact that these are your personal expectations and these roles are not straight across the board. And while Max was speaking, I got the same thought because most of the things he was saying did not resonate with me as a female. Like, I don't relate. I don't believe that that is a majority of the people. It might have been majority of the people he's been relating with, but it's not the norm on my end. So a lot of times we have to realize that our perception is usually our reality, but it's not the reality or the only reality, because so many other levels, and as DJ said, it's so nuanced. Like, people and individuals on a whole are so different. They're going to react differently in different situations. So you can't say that, you know, the roles are X and the roles are Y. That is just us subscribing to norms that have been handed down and traditions that we were told were normal. And now we are now thinking for ourselves in a lot of other different arenas, and the relationship arena should not be any different. I think we should try to rewrite the norms and define our own roles for ourselves. And when we and the issue comes up when one set of people are trying to do that, or let's say one gender is trying to do that, and then the other one is somehow subconsciously stuck in the previous roles that we have accepted, that were handed down. Because honestly, I keep hearing the men saying about sensitivity, but they want a woman who's not too forward. And it's just like, where is the middle of the road going to be, and who determines what the balance is? You can't have it both ways. And so are you going to like step up and become emotionally intelligent enough to not get hurt, or are you going to just keep saying, oh, I don't like this, and then when it goes too far on the other side, you're like, I don't like this either?
Appreciate you sharing that. Monique, can we get you in here? And then Alexia, we want to hear from you as well.
I'll pass.
All right, Alexia, how about you?
I'm speechless.
I agree with Shauna. It kind of brings back to my point of saying, where's the conversation in all of this? Because when you see someone that you're initially attracted to, and you shoot your shot, or she makes it known that she's interested in you, and now you are developing a friendship. This is where you find out what whatever you think the roles are, whatever you think the expectations are. The discussion and the conversation comes into play. So, but I think when the emotions and feelings come involved, sometimes we invest things way too soon. And I guess it goes back to the expectations, because if you're expecting something from just the initial stage, you're setting yourself up for failure, in my opinion. You go in just getting to know this person, because you don't know if this is the person for you, whether you have an initial attraction or not. You're getting to know the person, you're getting to know what their expectations are, or what the ideas for roles are, or whatever the case is. And if it's not something that fits you, it's maybe they're not for you, and then you move on to someone else, if that someone else is for you. And then so I just think that people are not being honest with themselves. They're not being honest with the people who they're talking to about how they feel, because people may, I guess on the women's perspective, there are a lot of women who settle for something that they may have not initially settled for, instead of just saying, listen, in my mind, this is what I want, this is what I expect, and not getting, you're not constantly in something where you're either resenting someone, or you're being disappointed, or then the person's investing in you when you're having second thoughts down the line, and now this is something that you're gonna have to break off, or whatever the case is. I think if people are just honest and upfront from the beginning of what their reality is, let me hear what your reality is, and you hear what my reality is, then we can go from there.
All right, I appreciate you all sharing that. And so what I'd like to, I got a hand up. Go ahead, Avery.
Sorry. I just wanted to add that I think, Sean is mentioning like, where's this line between, the sensitivity, and if we go too far on one side, we're going to say we don't like it here and there. And I get that. I think something that we all have to, like, both sides has to agree on, is that we all have the same goal. Everybody wants to be in love, and everybody wants to get married and have kids. Maybe some of us have kids, but we all want to be with each other. So I think where we mess up is what happens after the guy shoots his shot, or the girl. I think it's like with the rejection part, we either we're uncomfortable with it, but we just don't allow. It's not an easy transition. So for example, if I shoot my shot and we're talking and we go out on a date, and I'm like, I realize that we're not gonna go well. Like, I don't like you for whatever reason. I should be able to go and talk to you, like shoot another shot at somebody else in your friend group, but without any problems though. Without any problem. But I'm saying that seriously. Like, I just think that like the rejection part is not an easy transition, because things don't work out. Now Avery's a dog. Now Avery's a player. But it's like, yo, we went out, it didn't, I wasn't feeling it. Like, why shouldn't we be able to move past this? And why shouldn't we still be able to help each other? Like, instead of saying Avery's a dog, help Avery find his wife. Like, like put Avery on and say, hey, me and Avery didn't work out. I think that you might be good with Avery. But instead, I think that sometimes what happens is that like these shooting your shots, like, I think that's why that also has to be defined, because however that looks, it's like men are not allowed to shoot several shots. And I think that we have to be very strategic with the one shot that we have. So it's like, look, I go to Metro, I got one shot at Metro. So I got
that's
my
facts.
shot wisely. I got to use
That's
my
facts.
shot wisely. So I think that, we just got to do like, what happens after the shot is taken, we need to kind of focus more on there. I think that's what's more important. Not necessarily shooting the shots, because the shots are going to be taken, but we got to be able to transition out of that smoothly. That makes sense.
That's facts. Sean has a comment. I'm excited to hear what this is going to be. Yeah, I see you up there, DJ. Let's go, Sean.
I don't remember what it was, but I think it was about that whole shooting your shot in the friend group situation.
Well, why not?
Remember, you got 2 minutes on the clock, so don't eat up your time. Go ahead.
So I wanted to echo some sentiments Alexia had shared about how we date and how far we commit, and we're living in these pseudo marriages and calling it dating, and so we go too far. That is why you cannot shoot your shot at somebody.
Somebody put that in the chat. Pseudo marriages.
We're not saying that you're being a dog for shooting your shot at different people. We're saying you're being a dog because you're actually being a dog. You're actually being disrespectful. People disrespect each other in relationships. They disrespect the relationship, and they put themselves in this awkward space where now they don't even like each other as individuals. So no, you cannot be in my circle after that.
Did we just lose you?
Can I just respond? I just have a question, because my thing is, I think we should be able to go on one date, and if things don't work out, I should be able to walk away in good faith. Like, we should be good. I think that if one date, there's nothing wrong there. There was no disrespect. No one was being a dog. I think that's the whole point of dating, is like, you get to know somebody outside of the church or outside of their friend group. You go on a date, you see if you like them. You might have to take several dates to say like, okay, maybe I don't like this person that much. But after that, we should be able to walk away in one piece, knowing that there's no, like, you shouldn't hate me after 4 dates or 3 dates.
I agree.
Each other. What's wrong?
However, that's not usually what happens.
Right.
We go from one date to spending hours on end per day on the phone and or exchanging like information and secrets and spaces mentally and physically that compromise our like relationship status. We're no longer just dating, and that's the issue. I've been in friendship circles where guys have dated multiple people in the friend circle because he didn't know we were friends, and it was just a date, and that's our response to each other. It was like, it was just a date, and it's clearly not going anywhere. Not a big deal. So we're not talking about the one appointment. We mentioned appointment last week, right? So we're not talking about having one appointment with each other and deciding, okay, after this appointment, we're not going to have any more appointments.
Agreed.
You're muted.
You're muted, Avery.
Rob, you're muted as well.
I was saying that I don't know. I agree with you, but I also just don't know how getting to know somebody works. I do believe you have to talk, and sometimes it's hours, and sometimes one date is not enough. And I just don't think that it's fair to say that talk to me talk to me a little bit, take me out on one date, and like I think sometimes people need time. And
Yeah.
you know,
Can I
like,
jump in on that, Avery?
Huh?
Can I jump in on that? Because the
Yeah,
clarification
you can
point.
jump in, but real quick, I just think that we need time sometimes, and I think a lot of times, especially in the beginning, we're trying to impress each other. So you kind of hide a lot of things, and sometimes it takes the fifth, the sixth, the 12th date to be like, "Yo, she's not for me," and I think that that is okay, and you should be able to walk away like it's fine. But to get to know somebody, you have to exchange some of that information. You got to communicate, and I think that's it. You could jump.
So I want to jump in on here because I think what I'm hearing from both sides is what I feel is a double standard sometimes. I think what Avery is trying to highlight is that
Thank you.
I should be allowed to explore my possibility with you. And if there comes a point that doesn't work out, it should also be okay for me to explore that opportunity with someone else without me being ascribed the dog. Now, what we tend to highlight, at least what I heard from you, Sean, was that it matters more about what that process looks like. And I think what my brother's saying here is that regardless of the process, if it ends, that means that just you and I didn't work. So it should still be okay for me to shoot my shot with someone else. But that's typically not the case for men. It is typically viewed that the man is a dog. Because unfortunately, maybe just in me playing the sport, I missed. And I really should have been shooting for the young lady next to you. It just took me a little bit to figure that out. So can we not honor maybe the reality that in this process, sometimes we all get in our feelings when there's hurt involved. Yes. But men are the ones that typically suffer the fallout of that the most, because we may, as my sister DJ said, we may have the resiliency to bounce back a little faster.
Yo, you're a philosopher. This guy's a philosopher. Yes, absolutely.
So I want to give Alexia, because she already got herself unmuted. I want to give Alexia a chance to jump in here.
I have nothing to say. No, I think, and maybe this is just the experience that I've had with women. These are just the women that I've been around and the kind of woman that I am myself. I've never seen a scenario where you go on a date with a young lady for once or twice, and she got in her feelings somehow because maybe she thought you were the best thing since sliced bread. No, there is a certain, especially for women, we know after a couple conversations if this is really going somewhere or if it's just like, all right, I'm gonna just like kind of ride it out until it dies down kind of situation. I think we need to stop doing ourselves a disservice in saying, oh, 12 dates. Really? 12 dates? In those 12 dates, let's think about that if you want to be realistic. In those 12 dates, you're probably going 12 dates over a couple months. And in those couple months, maybe 3 to 6 months, you're having intimate conversation. And let's think about today's dating, how people date today, in how they interact and how they isolate, and how now you and I are having, like Shauna said, those kind of relationships. You're doing the things that would demand some sort of obligation to someone, but you don't. Then if the woman starts expecting those things, wait a minute, I thought we were dating. No, we shouldn't have been doing certain things if you just thought we were dating. Because technically, if we're just dating, you can really just shoot your shot with anybody. You can go out with multiple people. So if you're focusing that much energy on me to figure out if I am that person, then that's a different conversation. But I'm not going to feel a way if someone went on a date with me and then going on a date with someone else. It was just a date. He's not for me. That's it. Call it a day. Now, if we've been spending time together, falling asleep on the phone, all this stuff, certain things about me that no one else. I think we have to be honest about the investment that we make. And when you make a certain type of investment, you do expect something. If I give $1, I'm just like, I might get some, I might not. Now, if I
Well,
give $20,000 into something, listen, I'm hoping to get something out of
Le-
this situation.
Lexi,
I'm
your
just
time
saying.
went. Your
My
time
bad.
went. But I also want to add to that. I believe that it is said in our faith, just for point of clarification, that the only investment that you really ought not to walk back from, is marriage. So one would say, as long as you have not signed papers, as long as you have not made that final commitment, there's really nothing you can't walk away from, no matter how much you invest
But
on.
Robert, it goes back to what Shauna says. You cannot say you cannot then talk about your emotions and your feelings.
I can talk about
and
my emotions
then
when I want to.
talk about it. But what I'm saying is, you can't come talk about, oh, guys they don't get the opportunity to talk about their feelings and their sensitivities and this and that, and then you're gonna go ahead and say that it doesn't make sense. What do you want? You can't have all the cake. That's
Yeah.
it. It's either you
All
split
right,
in half,
hold up.
or we have
Avery.
a standard. What is it?
I'm going to get a DJ inside here because I'm seeing the facial expression, so I know there are thoughts. Let's hear them.
There are always thoughts. No, I mean, I agree with Shauna and Lexi. Like, I agree. Like, you can't have it both ways.
How is it having both ways, though, if I'm simply saying I should be allowed to explore the process, right? And if I have feelings like you do, if the process falls, I should also be allowed to have those feelings. Why can I not have those feelings if it may have taken me 12 dates as opposed to the one?
First of all,
So I see some. I want to. I'm gonna give Shauna a chance, and then Avery. You're right after Shauna, and then Avery.
I was gonna type it in the chat. I agree. You should be allowed to have those feelings about the process after how many ever dates. I'm not really feeling this. I too am allowed to feel that way also. I'm not
agree.
feeling this, and you shouldn't feel like I'm being insensitive towards your feelings simply because I decided, maybe sooner than you did, that this isn't working out. Like, what are we doing this for? Are we doing this for entertainment purposes? Do we have an end goal? I saw Tiffany recently, I didn't watch the video, but it was saying that dating is not supposed to be for marriage. It's supposed to be for community or something. Like, listen, everyone has their own opinions. However, I'm just saying, why are we doing this? And why do you have an issue when I say it's not working? But if you say it's not working, I should be okay and respect your sensitivity.
Solid point. All right, let's get Avery inside here. I haven't heard from Monique. Oh, Max, is that you got something to say? 1 second. Let me get Avery was dying, but you can jump in afterwards, Max.
Yeah, I was just gonna kind of go back to something I mentioned previously. It's just, I think we gotta remember the goal. If we want each other to achieve marriage and love, then I think we should be a little bit more considerate. And I'm saying that to say that, that guys are not like this with our friends, right? All my boys, like, if I talk to somebody or if they talk to somebody and it didn't work out and they want to talk to one of my boys, I'm giving them, I give you his number. Like, I'll call him for you. I'll put him on the phone. Like, I'm always trying to, like, see my brothers succeed. But I just don't think that it's the same on the opposite side. There's some other rules over there that I don't think is fair. But I think the one that it's not, no one's trying to play games with anyone. I just think that there should be enough space allowed for each other to communicate and get to know. I don't know what kind of dates y'all going on, because 12 is obviously some absurd number to be getting to know somebody for. I'm sorry, but I think it takes some time. Like, I feel like I don't know who's married listening to this, but I'm sure that you didn't go on 2 dates and say, all right, I'm married, like, you're gonna be my wife. Maybe you did. I don't know. I just know that, like, for me, I got to do a little bit more and investigate the work. Like, it just takes more time. I couldn't just make a decision off of 1 or 2 dates. We have to have way more conversations. But the biggest thing, Alexia said, investments. The types of terms that you use with investing comes losses. And I think that we all, and even with shooting shots in basketball, there comes misses. Everything in this world, there's pros and cons, and there's a positive and there's a negative. If you're attempting to do this, you're gonna lose. And guys, I guess, lose at a higher rate, at a faster rate, and a more acceptable rate, I guess, for society. And women are afraid to lose. And they're also selfish because they don't want to share their friends. But most importantly, they're afraid to lose. And I do think that we have to get, like, more comfortable with the fact that if a guy goes on a date with you, or if a guy shows interest in you and he scribbles your name down, or you begin to doodle his name on your notebook, you're doing a little too much if he just met you. And in the event that things don't work out, let him go. Let him go. Like, you invested a little bit, you fell asleep on the phone with him. That's fine. It happens. It happened to me. Let him go, and then love will come around again. I just think we have to view this thing. We have to view, like, our approach on dating is way too serious. I think we gotta like have a more, I don't know, like we gotta be less sensitive, I guess, when it comes to dating. Like, way too much involved.
There were some hands. I want to get Max in here. If I didn't see your hand, I apologize. Just don't mind raising it or showing me again. We have 9 minutes, so I want to loop back to our original question, see if anyone's answer has changed. So Max, you got any thoughts? You've been a little quiet.
Yeah, I just think that the reality on earth is that people tend to be more judgmental than they really should be. So in other words, oftentimes things should be one way, but it's often not. In other words, if someone shoots their shots, um, and things don't work out, we should be able to sit and try to understand one another better. But oftentimes people become emotional and they place labels on people. They start naming people, things like that, and we're not looking at each other on a level, the humanity of it all, to try to understand what what exactly happened. We get too emotional. So I think if it would be nice if people were more apt to just listen to one another and really understand one another and understand the situation. But oftentimes we don't do that, so that leads to people getting hurt, people judging one another, people calling each other names, talking bad about one another, spreading your name in crowds, and it gets messy. So we should
Appreciate it. I got 2 hands before we wrap up, so I'm going to jump with Ketfuzz phone. Ketfa, are you still with us?
Hi guys, it's
There you go.
Kitfa.
Kitfa,
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I just wanted to say something real quick. I think Avery was saying something. I just wanted to say the generation of today, sometimes we don't like to put in work. So we have this romanticized idea of what our relationship should be like and should look like. So therefore, when it's time to actually sit down and put in the work, we tend to give up and go on those 12 dates to figure out that that person is not the person for you. So that's why I'm like, I feel like Alexia was saying, if we're honest with ourselves and we know what we want, and we can actually make it work if we're willing to put in the work and not just keep dating around and to figure out if that person actually fit our box.
Wow. Appreciate you sharing that. Hey, mute yourself. You're not on the clock, ma'am. Go ahead, Monique. It's on you. Thanks for sharing, Kitha.
I just wanted to say there was a comment in the YouTube chat that I really liked, and it said that basically we don't know ourselves enough. We don't spend time to know ourselves enough when we're going into dating. And I feel like that's what causes a lot of the problems. If you know yourself and you know what you want when you're going into dating, and it should be an intentional process, a lot of people will not get hurt the way that they're getting hurt. But if you, to your point of view, Avery, it's like, if you want somebody in my friend group, that means that you was looking at them when you was trying to holler at me. So it's just like,
not necessarily.
at least that's how I feel most women take that. Just saying. And females on the call, women on the call, y'all could let me know if y'all agree. But I feel like if you, after you date me and you be like, oh, let me talk to your friend, it's like, hold on, wait, what?
No. Hold up, Avery, hold up, because we having a wrap up. And so I'm gonna take host privileges here. I will hear what my sister said, right? I will validate that as a feeling.
I reject it.
But I also want to say I reject that statement because, yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. So I want to go back around the table, right, for everybody, all my panelists. First, want to thank you all for being a part of this. You know what I'm saying? It's COVID-19 season, and we're all trying to find ways to stay connected, to still continue to build our community, but more importantly, to grow spiritually in all these areas. And dating is a big part of it. And F.L.O.W, the team that I work with, we are trying to do that, create spaces for real dialogue, right? No games. And somebody asked real earlier on, if you see an opportunity to shoot your shot in these chats, I say kudos to you. Shoot your shot. So I'm going to go around to each panelist. And the question we started off with, was, should women shoot their shot or no? You get 2 minutes on the clock, and I want you to know if your answer changed or stay the same. So I'm going to start off on my panel. I'm going to start from the top center, which is DJ, then Max, and go on. So DJ, should women shoot their shot or no? Did anything change for you?
Nothing changed for me at all. Absolutely, they should if they can. If they, can take that risk, if they feel bold enough to, I mean, pull a Ruth, go ahead, go uncover his feet, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's biblical. So I see no reason for it. But as for me, I shall not. But I will position myself though. Yeah.
Appreciate you sharing that. Max, it's your turn. Should ladies shoot their shot or not?
Yeah, my thoughts are the same. It's pretty much the same. And I think what the words we use in this conversation was perfect. Pursuit versus initiation. I think it's a beautiful thing if a woman wants to initiate, but the pursue part of it, that can lead to a whole bucket of problems later on. Like, what if the guy just jumped into the car because like, hey, I'm in a car and it's convenient for right now. You know what I mean? And so that can lead to a lot of problems. So yeah, women, I think it's a great thing for women to learn how to initiate. There's so many different ways to do it in very classy, beautiful ways. But the pursuit part, yeah, for the most part, there's some people that it's worked out where the woman did everything and they're together. But if that works for you, that works for you.
Appreciate you sharing, Max. Shauna, it's your turn. Should women shoot their shot or not? Did anything change for you?
Women should definitely shoot their shot. You should do it if that's what you want to do. And so I will always say it depends. If the guy is seems to you as the type of guy who likes to be the initiator and pursuer, then maybe fall back. And if he doesn't pursue you, you can understand from his actions that he's not interested. But if that's what you want to do, you should definitely do that. If the guy has an issue with you shooting your shot, that might not be the guy for you. But most of all, I want us to all like take some time to shoot our shot with ourselves, understand what it is that we want from other people, understand what it is that we have to offer and things we need to work on those things. I'm not saying we can't work on them in a relationship, but I feel like we need to all level up with regards to emotional intelligence. So when
Amen.
we shoot our shots and someone else comes into the picture, we're not just wasting time and investing at random. We know what we want and we can get to the point a little bit sooner than 12 dates. My friend Simone mentioned, she's a teacher. She said, you can't even drop a class after 12 classes. So no, we gonna have a problem after 12 dates. Please don't take 12 dates. Know what you want before you get to date 3, even if you were the one who shot your shot.
I appreciate you taking your platform, sister, to speak your mind. Alexia Scott Mitchell, shoot your shot or nah? 2 minutes on the clock.
Yeah. Hi. So I think my mind hasn't changed. If you're comfortable with that, go ahead. If that's not what you're comfortable with, that's just not what you're comfortable with. I think you should kind of do it, whether it's spoken or non-spoken communication. Women have their ways of doing that. For me personally, I don't do shooting my shot, but I will position myself like the DJ said, and use nonverbal communication. You will know, and you will know and if you choose to, to reject that, then that's okay. So.
Thanks for sharing. Hans, should ladies shoot their shot or nah? Did anything change for you?
No, nothing has
On the
changed.
clock.
As I said before, everybody has the freedom, according to what you're comfortable with, to be able to, step forward and say something. And that's all that's required of you. No one's asking for you to do more. No one's asking for you to do less. Just anything that you're comfortable with. And as far as men, yeah, you can always shoot your shot. And women, if you feel like you're feeling led to get to where you need to be to talk to somebody, then that's all you have to do. And as long as we all respect each other, respect our boundaries, we should all be fine.
Appreciate you sharing, Hans. Monique, should ladies shoot their shot or not? Did anything change for you?
Nothing changed for me, but it's just a matter of if you're comfortable doing that. As for me, as DJ said, that's not my ministry. But like, if you're comfortable doing that, then go ahead.
Appreciate you sharing. Dylan, should women shoot their shot or not? Did anything change for you?
Nah, nothing's changed, honestly. I like what Shauna said though about like shooting a shot with yourself. Like for real, for real. Like a lot of people don't really know what they bring to the table. And sometimes that could be a gift or it could be, a curse. It could be something that you might need to work on before you get into a relationship because what's your baggage becomes their baggage. If someone has a really bad credit score, y'all get married, guess what? It's y'all credit score.
Love me through my struggles. Love me through my struggles.
Well, yeah, but you got to know your struggle, your fight before you get into a relationship with somebody else. You know what I mean? So it's important to learn that. But yeah, I mean, everybody, a man or a woman, should shoot their shot because you lose, out on certain opportunities when you don't make yourself hurt. So
appreciate you sharing. Avery, should women shoot their shot or not? Anything change for you?
After this, I think my perspectives have definitely changed. From DJ to Sean to Monique, you guys have a very convincing platform and perspective there. I would say that I'm going to continue to shoot my shot. I would say that as a sensitive man, I would appreciate it if women continue to do the things that make it easier. So, Sean, if you like throwing the oops, continue to throw the oops. Set some screens for me, Monique. If you don't like to shoot, that's okay. But help me, give me the hints. Alexia, I'll pick up on the body language, but I do think as a sensitive man, we want to know that the energy is matched. So even if you don't match it by pursuing me, but show me that you want me as bad as I want you. Because I don't mind being on the prowl or the hunt or the shy or pursuing whatever. But let me know that you're here for the energy that I'm putting out.
Yo, appreciate it. Thank you for sharing, Sean. Once again, I want to thank everybody. What you guys have been a part of is a flow conversation or nah. We essentially won't get together possibly every weekend to ask questions, whatever or nah. This week we asked, should you shoot your shot or nah? Particularly speaking about ladies, and we heard from our panelists that most of them feel entirely okay with ladies shooting their shot, especially if there are some clear markers and signs that these shots should be taken. So we all appreciate you. Please keep the conversation going. Like, subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can be made aware when we're doing the next panel. So you'll get that invitation and invite. If you have topics, y'all, there are things you want to talk about, this is the space and the platform for it. Please let us know. You can directly email me at Rob, R-O-B, Harris, Harris, 0204 at gmail.com. Your topic ideas, and if you want to be a panelist, we would love to have you on here and get in some real conversations. So ladies out there, shoot your shot, man. We appreciate it.
Also, drop your topics in the YouTube channel, in the chat box. We'll get them there too.
Yeah, I'm gonna play a little music. I'm gonna let this hang out for about 5 minutes so people can get a chance to connect and vibe. Make sure we got the Instagram thing set. If alley-oops need to be gone, go ahead and do that.
Shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot for real. My panelists. Yeah, I'm gonna do it right now. Panelists, if you can hold on for a second.
Some call him Yahweh. Some call him Adonai. Right? But we lift our eyes to heaven and call him. I stretch my to thee. No, I know. I